Hello, my name is Jordan, and I wrote an essay titled The Impact of Caste Systems, and it just speaks about how caste systems impact our daily lives, what a caste system is, and especially here in the United States, and how it compares to other countries. It also speaks about psychological effects of caste systems and the social theories that apply that help us understand why caste systems exist, how they're created, and why they're reinforced. In other words, why they continue. And we also speak about how caste systems affect individuals personally and society, speaking about just groups out in the world and individuals just personal. We also then speak about the role of social institutions, how the outside in society, the outside world plays a huge role in reinforcing the caste system and how it continues. It's basically a helping hand. Institutions are a helping hand to creating and continuing these caste systems, and it goes into it on how education, media, and legal political systems all apply and play a huge role in just keeping us at our level. So, we first speak about what a caste system is. It is social hierarchies that we place people in, or people are born into, and they're forced to stay there permanently. Unlike here in the US or the United States, we're given the illusion that we can level up, or that the social hierarchy that we're placed or born into, we can escape from. But Isabel Wilkerson goes into how here in the United States, unlike Nazi and India, who believes that's what they deserve, being born in a lower level in the social hierarchy, we are not only given the illusion, but we had created this caste system here in the United States by using race, the physical I don't know if it's attribute, but the physical trait of a person, which is race, the color, whether you're black, brown, white, whatever you consider yourself. They would use that and organize people based on that, based on race. And Isabel Wilkerson goes into that. And in the introduction, I just introduce what all of this and what a caste system is. Then the first body paragraph, I introduce what a caste system is. In the second body paragraph, I go into the psychological effects of caste systems, how because we are placed in certain levels, we think we're better than other people, and we treat people based off of how we perceive ourselves and the level we're in, if that makes sense. So dominant people or dominant groups who are on top of the social hierarchy or this pyramid, they think they're better than those who are in the bottom of the pyramid, and they treat them as such. And that's basically the effects that a caste system has psychologically. You think you're better when you're really not. And this leads to these people in lower caste systems to feel less than, have lower self-esteem, and this ends up making them achieve less. So there goes their opportunities and their achievements. And then on the third paragraph, I speak about social psychology theories and how it applies to the caste system. That there are three theories that apply that can help us understand why a caste system exists and why it continues to exist. The first theory is social identity theory. We speak about how people will categorize themselves in a box based off who they perceive themselves to be, and anybody outside of that box they treat less than, and they favor those who are inside of that box. So let's say you like Hello Kitty, and you meet someone who doesn't like Hello Kitty, you're more likely to treat them less than because they don't identify within that liking than with someone who you meet who likes Hello Kitty. So it's this favoritism over those who identify with you than with those who don't. And that just applies how caste systems work, right? So if you're at a middle level, you're not going to want to treat people at the bottom the same way you treat those who are in the same level as you or above. You'll start to treat people different based off of what level they are. The second theory is the social learning theory. The way people learn things. They learn things based off of observation and reinforcement. So things are applied. Things are almost praised, like you did something, good job, or they're put in your face, so they seem normal. Social media, education, family, the people you grow up with, they make this seem like you are like it's normal, like social norms are. It makes them seem normal, when in reality it's just how you grow up and how you learn things based off of observation and just picking things up and conditioning. The third theory that we speak about is social comparison theory. The way we compare ourselves to other people based off of levels that we're in. So we'll quickly try to see our value based off of what level we are in and other people. So basically, we'll try to put a value towards ourselves. But before we do that, we look at what level other people are in. Whether they're in the same level as us, below us, or above us. And if they're above us, we feel less than and we feel like we need more. But if they're below us, we feel more and we feel like we're good enough and blah blah blah. But the cycle feeds itself, because even if you're in the middle, you'll feel like you're good enough, but you got people on top, so you'll still keep chasing for the next level. And on the fourth paragraph, we go into how caste systems affect individuals and societies. So the caste system affects people individually just by not allowing them to access opportunities. An example is the Jim Crow, separating people and not allowing them into specific schools, knowing that there are either better schools or they just want to focus on that race specifically. And it affects people on an individual level more deeply and visibly than, I would say, groups. But society, the way it affects them is people are divided, and they think they either deserve their jobs they have, and some people get jobs they need, other people don't. So it just creates this uneven distribution of who have certain jobs, who get to have jobs, and who gets to go to school, the healthcare availability to them, everything. Then we go into how the role of social institutions play into reinforcing the caste system in all of this. Education. Knowing damn well some schools have way more money, they will fund only the ones in these specific areas where race of people in a dominant caste are. So where they live, they will only fund those schools. Or they will put people and create less programs in certain areas and create more in other areas. Media, they will portray this, they will reinforce this idea that dominant people are on top and then the lower people are on the bottom, like putting someone as a maid in a movie who is specific race that isn't white or part of the dominant caste. So they just reinforced laws and policies are made against those who are of color, not allowing them to be part of specific schools. Or Jim Crow, for example, are created against them, and more inequality. So overall, we just speak about how the caste system also exists in the United States, whether you like to see it or not. And a lot of people, they ignore it, no matter what. But Isabel Wilkerson goes into it to the point where you can't ignore it. And I think that's why I love the book. And I decided to go into this whole essay ultimately because it speaks on what someone wished they could say but didn't know how to say. So remember, caste systems are hierarchies that people are placed in based off of perceived value. And Wilkerson helped us a lot to understand. So recognize our habits and do better. Don't create the same things to reinforce the system.